So what is the Civil War looks like in the United States in 2025? It's not like the Civil War of the 1700s. There are no cannons, no bayonets. The casualties are real. There's stress, trauma, anxiety, lost jobs, defunding of critical research grants, the destruction of a lot of institutions that we've come to know and love, deportations. So the casualties are real. There are some unaliving, which are the byproduct of the this war. And rather than North and South, we have two different sides of this cultural war, which involves policy, law, and just differences in opinions on how society and culture should be run in the United States. One side is led and has the power of the executive because it's led by a 10-year-old bully in the decaying body of an almost 80-year-old racist, sexist, xenophobe who is cognitively in decline, who is devoid from reality, who is in a constant state of aggression, constant state of whining, constant state of railing off, like just never happiness, just really miserable person. And his generals are an army of unqualified sycophants that he had put in his cabinet. The way they're destroying and like running the departments that they're heading it's part of the destruction and the casualty of this side. The side also includes lily-livered members of Congress who make up a slim majority of Congress, or Republicans that are just rubber stamping all things that he wants to do, this general. And it also includes the Supreme Court that is turning a blind eye and looking the other way while this decrepit old man runs roughshod of the United States and drag it to the ground. Granted, he is being puppeteered by a loose conglomeration of techno-facets and some Project 2025 was like white nationalist Christian wannabe, but nothing they do was Christian whatsoever. They're very cruel. Cruelty is the point. So that's what we have on that side. And here's the thing, that side is the minority, believe it or not. And they have the power of the executive, the ability to use Emergency Powers Act, abuse Emergency Powers Act to do a lot of different things, get funding for a lot of different things, and to draw off the National Guard. They're also stealing money that was allocated by Congress, a third equal part of government, to these various different agencies, entities, organizations, groups, stealing the money, impounding them, and refusing to give over the money, and it's actually blackmailing. So it's not just a curmudgeon. The curmudgeon is almost like a mob boss, and he's lived his mob boss life his entire life. Petulant child, has done a lot of things, gotten away with a lot of grifting and robbing and stealing and sexually abusing and doing a lot of things that are in the Epstein file that once we find out, it's going to be a big deal. So that's one side, but they're the minority. Who's on the other side? On the other side, they're the cities, they're the people. They make up remaining 70-something% of the American population, because MAGA only represent 22% of the United States population, 32% of the electorate. There are more people that either sat out, about 90 million, or voted for the other person, Kamala Harris, 75 million, in the past election. So most people are not happy. And those who even voted for Donald Trump are in the FAFO stages. We've seen farmers, we've seen lots of people who are against this file being released. You had folks who didn't want war. You have people who thought they were going to get food prices lowered. You have people who thought they're going to get gas prices lowered. Lots of folks were fooled by this grifter con man. And so they're included in it. But actively, we have the governors and the mayors of blue cities and blue states who are active. We have citizens who would be on the grand juries in these cities, the citizens who are required to indict protesters or whoever it is that the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi, under Donald Trump, would want to indict. Also on our side, we have the federal district court judges. So to the extent that the one side have the Supreme Court that's looking the other way, the district court judges, even those appointed by Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, even Donald Trump, his first term, are holding down the line and yanking him in and actually reining in the worst of the executive orders and actions. Also on our side, we have the protesters. We have the citizens, again, in the form of protesters, going to these town halls, calling their elected officials, doing whatever they can to box out ICE agents. For example, we've seen that in Chicago. We saw a lot of that in DC. We have the citizens who are protesting and getting the tow trucks down. We have the mayors, like the mayor of Chicago, who we've seen lining up ICE trucks, like the snow melting trucks, to box out ICE. They're ready for it. We're also seeing the district attorneys. We have the state's attorney generals that have been filing lawsuits against the Trump administration on behalf of the citizens of their states when he tries to take funds away and do other things. You've had the district attorneys in cities like Philadelphia, who Larry Preston, I think is his name, who has said that if the Trump sends in National Guards, that he will prosecute fully any National Guard that breaks any law in his city. So the resistance is active and it's formidable. And it's sad that we're in a civil war where the president of the United States is on one side, and it can end, and it's going to end. And that's the other thing, is that there's more of us than them. We have on our side time. They have their side time because they have a year and a half to get the stuff done. But on our side in time, we have this old aging man who has congenital heart failure, who has cankles, lots of stress, bad diet, had a mini stroke, and who knows what was going on, what they were pumping into him to prop him back up and rev him back up again. So whatever that is, I'm not quite sure how long that can last, but time is on our side as well. And of course, we have the nonprofits, the ACLU, Democracy Docket. We have the Center for Biological Diversity, Friends of the Everglades, all of the different migrants and immigrants' rights organizations that have already pre-drafted a lot of these lawsuits and run to the courts and keep running to the courts every single time Donald Trump issues an executive order or they do some sort of action that impedes upon the constitutional rights of migrants who are guaranteed them, despite the fact that some of them are not documented. So those are the two sides. This is why I think our side will win. I think our side would win because on their side, they have three things. They have Donald Trump's executive orders, they have lies, and then they have fear. Now, if you realize that a lot of the stuff he does, he's a troll, a lot of the things they threaten are just to scare you, and you become not fearful and you realize it's just part of the grift, it's part of the media manipulation, and there's not a lot of teeth to it, and he's just scared, then you're like, okay, it takes away the fear. Now you have the lies. Don't believe anything he says. He's lying. A lot of the stuff they come out their mouth, they're just saying things. He just makes up numbers. He just makes up stuff. All of them. You see them. If you're watching social media, people fact check them all the time. So take away the lies. The last thing, they have executive orders. The executive orders are being pounced out because of district courts. Granted, the Supreme Court is stopping the district courts a little bit, but ultimately, I still believe the Supreme Court on substance cannot allow Donald Trump to do the things that he's doing because they're blatantly, clearly unconstitutional. There's no wiggle room for interpretation as there were in other cases, like in Dobbs and things like that. It's like, this is the law. This is what the Constitution says. No ifs, ands, or buts. So at some point, even if it gets to the Supreme Court, that's going to be the end of that. The executive orders go away. Meanwhile, on our side, we are still actively pushing back. And we know that if we can last to next midterms, that's going to be the end of the GOP. That needs to be the end of them. If they do not remove him from office before 2026, then we just remove all of them. And that's the end of the war. Once we do that, the healing starts. We remove him, remove his cabinets. We try to do our best to replace and fix what he's done. We have the trials, the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, and we start the healing, the same kind of healing that happened after the Civil War. So it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of, it's just a matter of time. You just have to hold strong, not be fearful. It's scary. A lot of stuff he's doing is anxiety inducing, but it's by design. But realize everything he's doing is just to troll you, to make you scared. But in this war, we're going to win. Our side is stronger. We are more of us than them. I always tell people there are more of us than them. Remember this. We're experiencing the tyranny of the minority, and we can fight and we can do it. JJ Legal, I am in the dockets. Each one, teach one. Share this video with other people who needs encouragement. If you didn't know, now you know. That's how war is in the United States in 2025. But I see the end in sight. The end in sight is the good guys winning. Fear and intimidation and hatred will lose. Mark my words.